So it's the one you earn, man. It's the one you earn. It's like you think this 5K medal, and it's like huge. It's like this base. It's like what the fuck.
The hardest race I ever did, the winner got a shot glass that had the name of the race on it. It's about that big.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what he got.
Well, when you guys come out to my golf tournament, the Bone Frog Open, I have last year I went 4 deep, and I do championship rodeo belt buckles.
He said it yesterday, and I was like, "Hey,
that's what we get. That's what we
Texas boys. We'll go after one of those buckles now."
Yeah, it has the Bone Frog on it. It's Bone Frog. What did I have at the bottom? Taking care of those, took care of us on the bottom. 2020. The first 4 was your champ to get champions on theirs, but everybody else, they're foursomes. We just put them in a basket, and I reach out and okay, you guys did a 173 combined. Good Lord. You're second. Good for you. And we give them out. And so it's kind of like enjoy the day, enjoy the golf, enjoy all the booze and food, enjoy being with, frogmen because you've never probably seen
them. The boys are back in town playing the entire time? I'm just asking. Write that down. That's you get more guys with that. If I knew that was happening.
I didn't even have the only how I got a hold of it was from Brad. That's it. I just had his email, and that's it. And then finally, Melanie got me through Instagram. Like, hey, McB.
You're talking about head of the family, Brad.
Yeah, Brad. Yeah. So now it all worked out.
Orlando.
But that's what I do, and it's like just a lot of fun. It's just
what's that from?
I couldn't keep them. I couldn't keep the frogmen sober. They're just so shit faced.
Oh well, yeah.
I mean, I was trying to be sober. I'm the host of the damn thing.
That was your problem right there. Because you weren't as inebriated as your fellow brothers. You couldn't keep the.
Oh, people had so much fun, and then of course John Daly's there singing. He's just a great friend, but it just all worked out.
You could tell it was a SEAL thing because John Daly was singing. We had George Strait playing golf. Backwards everywhere.
Had Jim McMahon. I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm stunned how much this guy drinks.
Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon.
Makes sense.
They're the Michelob Ultras, but
it's like water, isn't it?
Yeah. He
drinks a lot of water.
Drink enough of them.
30 of those. Now he stays in the first hole, so it's called the Federal Club. And I got my buddy Glenn who lives in the first hole, huge Cowboys fan. Like his whole upstairs is just a man room. It's got bars, 3 televisions, cards, pool table, all Cowboy stuff on there. And so when I had Jim McMahon come, because I'm friends with him, I've been friends with him for a long time. And
good dude.
Oh, he's
great dude, right?
Fucking fantastic.
I've heard good things.
How's his head doing?
He's doing a lot, but he does his the medical marijuana now. Mm-hmm. So this year he brought, what do you call it? He called it the Tutti Frutti Haze or something like that. He brought, but that's what he brings with him, and he's such a good dude. I mean, you sit down and talk. He's a guy you should have on this podcast. Is Jim McMahon.
He's from start to finish. He's had one hell of a journey.
Yeah, that is. He as a matter of fact, we should get you. I'll help you get him on the show. Excellent. He is a freaking awesome guy. But so I have him stay with Glenn.
Joshua got me. We have another team guy. Like I had a break in watching wrestling at that for a while, and then he was so fired up about it. He's like, it was mandatory. We had to watch it when it came on TV. So then, you get to know them and you start developing a relationship with how they're doing. Man, that's how you get hooked in there.
Mm-hmm. I miss wrestling. That was so much fun watching that. But I have him on the first hole, and I had Chad Ward on the first hole, and who else is supposed to be there on the first hole? JD just stays in his bus. He'll just park out front.
Who's JD?
John Daly.
Oh,
he's good friend. He's awesome too, man. I'm telling you. But I got championship belt buckles. I think this whole conversation was championship buckles.
Just to clarify, which Jim McMahon are you talking about?
Bears. Jim McMahon.
Thank you.
Super Bowl Shuffle.
I thought you were talking about wrestling.
No, I absolutely knew who you were talking about. And his name's not Jim McMahon.
Yeah, so I wonder how he segued into wrestling, but I'm like, I love wrestling.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you said, dude. I thought we were talking about freaking wrestling.
No, his name's like Bob McMahon or something, right? The guy that was WWE. I knew exactly who you were talking about. That's why I asked how his head was.
Yeah,
I know he's having problems.
So when you said that, I was like, was a wrestler? I thought he got.
So we went right into wrestling. I'm like,
I noticed your face kind of went, yeah, I like wrestling.
okay, I'm down. I'm good.
Fucking
I'll
shit
go with
about
that.
wrestling.
Vince McMahon.
There it
Yes.
is, Vince McMahon. There it is. We're talking about Jim
Fucking
McMahon.
Vinny,
so
dude. I was like, because I was confused for a second. I was like, what the fuck?
I knew exactly who the fuck you were talking about.
So, but Glenn is a huge Cowboys fan.
But he's great too. I like.
He is a great guy. But his whole upstairs is Cowboy shit. Oh. And then as soon as we walked in, and Jim came in last year. Not this year did the same thing, but last year he went for the first time, and I told
Jim,
him,
not Vince.
Yeah, Jim McMahon, and we're going upstairs to Glenn. And now Glenn's trying to tell him that he's a Cowboys fan, and
hey, get ready for it.
yeah, getting ready for it. And so Jim gets upstairs, and he's like, "Well, we kicked the shit out of them. You better take these fucking down." Yeah. So this year he's actually has a Jim McMahon jersey now hanging in there, but he loves staying there, and it's good because,
Where does Jim reside full time?
Arizona.
Okay.
Yep.
Did he go down there specifically for like the drier climate, or is that where he's from?
I think it's golf.
Strictly golf.
That guy golfs. You talking about golf? He golfs.
That's just what he does.
He just loves golf. He's out there barefoot, golfs. He loves it. So.
Because I can't remember exactly where I got all this because I'm a brain guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he hit my radar for some reason about having problems after football.
Yeah, that 30 I'm 30 for 30 watching that stuff.
That might have been where I saw it.
Yeah,
That's the reason I asked you that question. If you get to hang out with him.
yeah, he is. He's gotten a lot better with it. He's gotten a lot of medical help, but the medical marijuana, he says, has helped.
That's
him more
what's
than
taking the
anything.
edge off.
So,
Okay.
which is another interesting, fun story. Is two people that are very influential in my life. Okay. First of all, watching Jim McMahon in the Super Bowl show. You guys remember that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Watching the game.
Refrigerator.
He was so freaking cool. That he really inspired me growing up. I'm like, we just watching. I was growing up. I was doing road races and triathlons, and watching that. And it's like I wanted to be that guy. He had the cool sunglasses and just
The headbands.
just a suave motherfucker, you know. And then next one, I didn't know anything about John Daly at all. So I forget where. I think we're training somewhere, maybe Nyland or maybe Shaw's. As a matter of fact, it's probably Shaw's. But it was late. I couldn't sleep. Still had all my shit on. Took everything off. Sweaty. Drinking a beer, and I couldn't sleep. So I'm like going through the channels, and so I started watching the World Series of Poker. Remember that got really big for a while. Everyone started watching that, and then I got bored because I knew what the answers were because they showed them on the bottom, and I've seen this one already. And then I switched to ESPN to 30 for 30s. I really enjoyed watching them. I think they did a really fantastic job on whichever one they did. And this was like, the world of rise and fall and John Daly, and I'm like, the fuck, a golfer. I was like, shit, all right. So I watched it. All right, I didn't want to, but I watched it. And when I got done watching that, I had snot bubbles. I'm like, that poor man. Oh, my God. I was like, but instantly it's like, I want to meet that guy. Like, 'cause Tiger Woods is all over the place. It was like, I want to meet that guy. He's parties. He's like, just a shit show everyone wants, but everybody loves him. It's just, everything about him just was fascinating to me. It's like, I got to meet this guy. It was instant. It's like, back of my head, I got to meet this guy. And then, let's see, when was that? 4 years later, I meet him. Just had a happenstance. He just happens to go to Folds of Honor's Patriot Cup, which I was now an ambassador for. So I went to the Patriots Cup, and there he was. I was like, "Hey, McB, it's John Daly." I'm like, "I fucking know it's John Daly," you know. So I started talking to him, and then we started hanging out, and then we just became great friends. And then now the two people that were influential of me growing up, I got both at my event. So I thought that was kind of neat. So I thought I'd share that with you. It's like, but he's great. He's coming. So this year, next year's Bone Frog Open, then of course he scored a hole in one. I mean, you guys saw that on TV.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Did you know Ray Care?
Yeah, I know Rick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Was he there for that?
Yes, I had. That's the other one I was missing.
I saw a picture of him with a T in his mouth with John.
Yeah, was that what that's from?
Going.
No, that was at Rob's event, which was about 2 weeks earlier.
Okay. My fault.
But at my event, the first year, it was just me, and I had Mike Barker. You guys know Mike Barker. He was a friend of mine. That he went to Buzz together. But I didn't have a lot of team guys at all because I had no idea how this fucking event was going to go. You know, I just working with Folds for about 2 years. I've been like I speak at all the golf events. You're the keynote speaker, this and that, raise some money with these prints, and I got to see kind of like what works in an event and what doesn't work in an event. You know. And I'm like, man, you can't have an 8-hour event. You can't have a 6-hour event. You can't have all this stupid shit out there. You can't have long drive guys. You can't be cheap to the golfers. You can't charge them $5,000 a cart and then give them a sleeve of golf balls and a koozie and a burger. You know, I made this list of things to do. And I'm like, I'm not going to do any of that. This is what I want to do. I want to take care of the golfer. I want to be the experience and build it. So we'll raise money 5 years from now when it's like, this will raise $1 million. I knew it. Right now we ain't raising shit. We raised like 65 the first year, 67 this year because I spent 102,000 this year on it. But
it's hard to live in COVID times when you're a nonprofit.
Yeah, that was we didn't think we were gonna have it, but our title sponsor CDW came in with 50,000 in February, and their check came in into February.
They didn't ask for it back.
Nope. They said
we've had that happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the events didn't go because of the restrictions on gathering and.
They wanted it back.
They want the check back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, CDW. So I just called my guy at CDW again, Carl Schultz, and they upped it to 75 for next year.
Oh, good.
So I'm like, thank God.
That's a blessing.
But the team guys we had there. So this year I brought a lot more. So Rob came, Jason Redmond, Mike Day, Ray Cash, Sonny. You guys know Sonny Mason? Sonny?
I don't know.
Ken Reeves, who's now the E7 above detailer for SEALs.
He asked for that
Wait,
job?
did he? He's a detailer now. Or did he just take over?
Yeah, he's a detailer now.
Who are we talking? Who else?
Because there was another. What's his first name?
Ken Reeves. He's a team.
Has
5.
he got a brother?
Brother?
No.
Because Steve Reeves just took over at 8 as the CMC.
Oh, I don't
think his name.
We
Was
have
I was
a
at the
few of
change.
them.
I said change
Yeah,
command.
yeah,
Anyway, I didn't
yeah,
mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Oh, Ken Reeves. He's short, pudgy little guy. We were at boot camp together, but he came because they actually wanted him to run. To help me with Common Grit Foundation, but he came and he wanted to see what it was all about, and then see who else came. Sean Brennan. You guys remember Sean Brennan? So he went through buds twice. Something that would never happen nowadays, ever.
Like completely went through in
class 190. What was it? 190. 192. Does that sound right? 192. Went out to STV. Got kicked out of STV. Got in some trouble. Then
I heard about that dude.
Yeah, came
Back through, right?
Back to buds day one. Graduated again.
Had his trident already.
Wait, what
Yeah.
was his name?
yeah.
Sean Brennan.
I didn't know. I don't think I ever met him, but I know that story. though.
Okay, I had a guy in my class that did the same shit. He graduated with 199, and his name was Rifchin.
That sounds familiar.
That's
And then
right. I forgot
came
about
through
that.
with my class
He
and
was
graduated again.
Again, that's right. Dude, I remember hearing
STV
that.
guy. STV hard on motherfuckers.
I don't know what it is.
Brennan?
Sean Brennan. Literally, would start day one to graduating third and buds 2 complete. He has two graduation certificates
That's terrible.
because he got in trouble. And they sent him back. It would never happen now, and it would not even
No.
happen. But I'm like,
Good on him, man. That's a tough bastard.
Yeah.
well, I don't know. We're at SEAL Team 2.
Does he wear 2 tridents?
That would be funny. Because he went through Hell Week again with us, like in our class with 2.
When he came back a second time, he was with you?
Yeah, 207. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my
And
God.
I graduated 208.
So whatever dude he got
Was
in
Pete
trouble
Scobell
with.
in your class?
Yeah, we had Pete Scobell. Who else we had in my class? We had Rob.
Did you have Pete out to your golf tournament?
What's that?
You need to make sure he gets out there with who?
Who?
Pete Scobell.
Scobell.
Yeah, I
Pedro.
wanted to get him out.
I'm out there to sing, man.
He's
my spiritual advisor.
Say that boy good.
So good.
Yeah. But I went through buds with him again, and then I got rolling pool comp and he graduated, and then we were at SEAL Team 2 together, and we were opposite cycles, and then we just met up on the grinder. He goes, "Hey McB," I say, "I'm not doing so good. I got some things going on. I'll see you later." Never saw him again. Vanished. Poof, gone. No one knew where he went. No one was like done.
He was taken.
Aliens abducted. And
he went to that special SEAL team.
yeah,
What are we calling that now?
I don't know.
Class 78.
Yeah,
76.
76.
I thought 78.
Why?
It's 76.
Class that never was.
Oh.
I'm going with 78.
All right. I'll do 76. Just I don't really know which one it was.
All right.
Okay.
Can you even Google that?
Yeah. Long story short, to finish it out, he got me on LinkedIn. He goes, McB, how you doing? I'm like, Sean Brennan. It's like he's back. I'm like, poop. So anyway, we linked up, and he's doing well up in Connecticut.
You got eyes on him. You seen him?
Yeah, he's came to my event.
He came back.
Yeah, I was like, he's the same dude, but a lot fatter.
Oh, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
He could have been in a cold weather platoon or something.
Yeah, that's why I do shoulders, because that's me and Rob's thing is do shoulders.
He was with that walrus
Yeah.
platoon.
Yeah, all right.
Not SEAls, walrus.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Team Never Quit podcast. My name's Andrew. I'm here with Marcus and Morgan for another week, another episode. What up? Hey, we got to do this thing. We do a Patreon question every single week. If you've never heard us talk about Patreon, it is where our listeners go join us for exclusive content, live videos with Marcus and Morgan, all kind of other fun stuff. Question of the day coming from Sarah. She says, Sarah says, as a military historian, particularly, she strongly believes in the concept of the alphas. Describe the necessity of our nation's alphas, what that means to you, and how and why the society of whom they serve should revere the alpha class. Deep question. Somebody
Wow.
answer that?
Do we have the Jeopardy sound effect?
Can we circle back to that when we can think about our answer?
Why is it important to have an alpha society inside our borders?
Yeah, she basically says, she even kind of ends it with saying, instead of being discrediting and dismantling, so why is it important to revere the alpha class?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily more
First of all,
importantly.
most real alphas don't come out and recognize themselves. They integrate in and they kind of push from around. And you get to a point with us where we trained ourselves into a capacity to where our violence of action, we learn to use that to protect people from ourselves. If we see our likeness walking around, it's you if you're big and tough and mean, or if you're not, and you in any capacity, you train yourself to a point to where your whole world revolves around everybody around you, and you do everything you can to keep a peace and a calm in that. And the understanding that there are good and bad days in that, the ebb and flow of it, and rolling with that. And it's not you're born that way, and you have to, those guys have to go out and get chiseled down and understand just exactly how that works. And it takes time. And it's incumbent upon those guys to train down too.
I think she said revered, I think that's almost a byproduct of an individual that has or wants the ability or position to be out front.
Recognized.
Well, not even recognized, like Marcus was alluding to. It's not a lot of people that we look up to and we revere, like internally, is not someone who's actually out there trying to get recognition,
yeah.
More so than they're trying to accomplish and solve a problem set and make themselves, those around them, and our country a better place. And that's why an alpha is so important. They help the progression of who we are as a society. What you got on that one?
I'm still thinking about it, to be honest with you. I mean, we need alpha males, that's for sure, in our society. We have to, because our society's getting weaker as it goes along, trying to bow down to everybody and be, like, they want to be peace. Everybody don't want to hurt anybody. They just want to be their own little weak thing and comply to what everyone's telling them they should be through whatever the narrative of society is, And I agree with her, but also alphas to me are strength. Alphas to me, even when I was in Buds, are the guys that inspired me to be better, to be a better person, be a stronger person, and to be out front. So to me, that's what it was, just that inspiring male. Growing up, males were, revered, and the stronger ones even more revered, and that inspired me to be bigger and stronger,
And the biggest misconception is they only exist in if you best way I can describe it is in the animal kingdom. They got the Lion King, but then you got all the way down to the lowest common denominator, the ants and the creepy things. Man, there's still alphas in that community as well, and they just everything keeps itself in check.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize them when you're walking around, and who wants to be feared and who hadn't really earned that, all that kind of. And you can tell who they are, right? As soon as they open their mouths, we can at least, but that takes time. I mean, you gotta. But yeah, they're important.
Thanks for the question, Sarah. Appreciate that. If you want to ask your questions to the, it really was. I was like way deeper than we normally.
Yeah,
do.
that was like. Can we stop and like go?
That's
look
a whole podcast in itself.
I need to write this
Can
down.
we go look up our answers and like
man,
really
I know.
craft them, and then come back tomorrow with that one?
Because I'll be driving down the road. Some of that I've done a perfect thing to say for that whole.
Yeah, later on you'll have a perfect answer.
Yeah, so pull that out of there. We can always go back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back. So if you guys have questions for the guys, for the guests, head over to patreon.com/teamneverquit. You can join us there. You can ask your questions. You can join us for those live streams. You get some exclusive swag. It's cool. We've got a great guest in store for you guys. You've already been a fly on the wall for a little bit of their conversation. 24-year Navy veteran, retired Navy SEAL, professional photographer, Darren McBurnett. Burnett or Burnett?
McBurnett's fine.
Burnett.
Yeah, that works.
Whatever makes you
Okay.
feel comfortable.
Yeah, or McB.
Or just McB.
Yeah,
Are you cool with
McB
Mc-
works fantastically.
Perfect. McB is the author of Uncommon Grit, and over the years, that's the other book you have, right? Over the years? Or just Uncommon Grit?
I literally, you're mumbling. I didn't hear a word.
Uncommon
you just said.
Grit and Over the Years? Sorry.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
Yeah, I
dude.
was. Just, what?
Over the Years, is that a book that is yours?
No.
Just Uncommon Grit.
Yeah.
That's a romance novel you picked up off by the toilet your lady left or something.
There's another
What was it called again?
We don't want to make you think that we haven't
Because
done our homework.
if it's not,
He hasn't done his homework.
Over the Years is going to be the name of your next book. Okay.
I found it. I found it online. I'm sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
jeez.
The guy's name was.
Hey,
McBurnett.
That
McB.
we did one of these one time,
Oh, the sailor and not the.
and the guy we
NASCAR
had in the
driver.
studio with us, he briefed us up that he was a World Cup, America's Cup sailor on the boat, which he had no idea what we were talking about.
That's kind of like the whole wrestling football thing.
Oh yeah,
we inspired a little bit earlier.
Just had.
Shit.
No.
Well,
no,
Darren,
it's-
the author of Uncommon Grit, not the soap opera, Over the Years. Welcome to the show, Darren.
That might be a thing, right?
Thank you. Yeah,
It could be a thing.
Thank
Tell
you
me the
very
name
much.
of it again.
It's an honor to be here. It really is.
The Years.
Yeah, first one in the new digs, in the
Yeah,
new studio.
I mean,
man.
it's two honors.
What do you-
so thank you.
what do you think?
Honor. I love it, and this is
it's a work in progress.
we
You got to
gotta
make
get
sure
a
you
try
sit.
wall.
literally looks like a platoon space. Is what I love.
It is. It's coming.
Now, this is just one room in the larger platoon
In the-
space. The gym.
the
It's kinda
gym.
like one big.
The beds upstairs.
Legit.
The watch
huh?
standards.
You said you slept well. Big rainy, cold night.
Yeah, I was like, I woke up, I'm like, what the hell is that sound?
Rain
It's
on
like-
a tin roof.
I go up like, whoa, it's raining. So
So we have screech owls out here too. The owls and the coyotes sometimes make some noise. When's the last time you saw watch My Cousin Vinny?
oh my god.
When he comes out, with,
comes
that,
out-
with that burner, just we're not keeping the guns upstairs.
Yeah, I did hear the cocks this morning. They were howling. So
They do that. That's why we keep them around.
Oh, and there's another. No matter what you believe, roosters will crow. It's not just in the morning.
oh yeah. Yesterday I went to go look in there and they're screeching at me. But yeah, it's an honor to be here. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
I
thanks for
appreciate it. I
coming out.
mean, you know, I'm the first one in here, so that's an honor.
gotta
So
sign the
thank
wall.
you. I signed the wall. I brought a.
Well, since you're the first one, we'll come up with some cool stuff that we got to do.
Oh,
if you're a guest.
I'm sending you guys some stuff. That's for sure. It's
That's
gonna
what's
be
a
really
great
cool.
idea. Every time you come on, you got to bring something.
Yeah.
Trident at least.
Yeah, I brought the trident. It was funny because we had this conversation yesterday. Like, you go into my house, you think two things. Number one, either I own a comic book store and I golf. That's about you. There's not a seal thing in there.
Same in my house. Nothing.
Nothing. And so
It's in a box.
exactly. Mine's a
Great
little-
retail shop though.
Yeah,
Comic books and golf.
Yeah, tiny little up there. Oh, it's
Snakes and sparklers. That's all I got.
oh, it's up there next to my Predator dolls. Okay, there it is. I put others, all the medals in there and things you got over the years, and like scraping around. I'm like, I hope I got one in there. Oh, so I found one. I'm like, oh, thank God. And I put it back. But I haven't made my shadow box yet. I'm thinking about it. So
You got time.
Yeah.
I don't have one either.
It's like, man,
Hey, what's going on, guys? Let's take a second to thank our sponsors over at BetterHelp. Listen, if there's been something interfering with your happiness this year, preventing you from achieving your goals, you're probably not alone. I know that I've been going through some of that. It's just been a wild year. I was actually talking to a family member the other day about the fact that you kind of just have to get rid of that noise sometimes. You have to kind of get rid of those distractions that are creating anxiety and stress and depression or whatever it is. And I was talking to them about talking to somebody. And one of the things that's so challenging about counseling services is the fact that you normally have to kind of go into that typical stigma of this waiting room and this stuffy doctor's office where you're sitting in this room with someone looking at you, over their glasses. And it's that's just not how I kind of envision getting help. And so BetterHelp is a cool company because they will help assess your needs, match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in just under 48 hours. Cool thing is they've got a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas. So if you're looking for a specific area of support, they're probably going to be able to partner you up with a counselor that can do that. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It really is professional counseling done securely, all online. Services available for clients worldwide. You're going to get timely, thoughtful responses. You can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. So the way it works is you log into your account anytime. You can send a message to your counselor. You can use their mobile app. You can do it online. You'll get timely, thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, which is cool. So you won't ever have to sit in that uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy ever again. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed, which is awesome. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit their website and read their testimonials. Testimonials are being posted every single day. I'm telling you guys, I'm actually using BetterHelp myself because I figured, you know what? Why not give this a try, talk to someone, see how it goes, and I really do love it. Y'all go check out their website. It's betterhelp.com/TNQ. That's better, H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people are using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. BetterHelp's got a special offer for the Team Never Quit podcast listeners. You're going to get 10% off your first month. Head over to betterhelp.com/TNQ. That's better, HELP.com/TNQ. You guys make sure to support our sponsors because they support us.
Favorite comic book, favorite golf club in a box.
ooh, oh, you had to go deep. Well, my favorite kind of club, or which one do I love the most?
What's the most expensive comic book you have?
Ooh,
Is there a difference?
yes. There's a huge difference with the clubs. I didn't think there was. I'm like, oh, it's a club's club.
No. I got that part. The comic book between your favorite and the most expensive.
Ooh. God, I just don't think.
You don't have any crazy Superman 2s, 1s, or
No, I don't have any of that.
Spider-Man like that?
No, I don't have any.
Are you a graphic novel kind of guy? Or just...
I love graphic novels.
Okay.
Probably my favorite is Frank Miller.
Frank?
Hands
He does
down.
good work.
Hands down. I think my most expensive comic book is maybe $2,500.
That's not cheap.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but it just to get really expensive comic books, you got to go way back. I mean, those the golden era of them, and that's
Final Fantasy. It's like Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
You still
Yeah,
have
the
the
old
one
action
where Superman
comics.
died?
Yeah,
I remember you buying that. It's going to be expensive one day.
I got it.
It's still not very expensive.
I still have it though,
which is weird, But
because everyone knows Superman does.
yeah, he can't. He's impossible to buy.
Superman, some drill.
But I tell you what, though, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Did you guys watch the Justice League?
Of course.
Wait,
which one? The new one? The cartoon?
Yeah, the new one. The new one with. Is it me, or did Wonder Woman literally get beat up to the entire fucking movie? I mean, she's always fighting, always getting hit. Superman even in the scene where they brought Superman back to life, it seems like he just beat the crap out of her.
Oh, he cranked her head back?
Yeah, I mean, it's like she was in the brunt of all the fights.
She's a badass. Though.
Did you notice that?
No, I didn't really. No, I didn't pay attention. I mean, I'm going to say this out loud. I didn't catch that. Now that you pointed it out, I'm probably going to be like, oh, of course you didn't because you're a man.
No, I just was Aquaman really do too much. Flash just ran away. The cyborg, he just sat there and with the mother boxes, and then it was just kind of up to
Him and Batman.
yeah, Batman and Wonder Woman, and just she just, I don't know. That was just me.
I kind of lost taste of it when Batman thought he actually had a chance to kick Superman's ass.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's not how this works.
Yeah. No. But where are we going? Back to, so that was comics. As a matter of fact, I don't really.
How the hell are we getting on?
I don't know.
Matter.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
so we're into that. But clubs. God, I never thought there'd be differences with clubs, but there really, really is. And so, what were you asking again? What's my favorite club? Or
Yeah, we were going with comic with that. But anyway,
yeah, okay.
We can sit back there. All right,
Yeah, all right, circle back.
Here's
nor there.
So here we are. Yeah. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Team Never Quit podcast. Give us
Because I started thinking about comic book.
Yeah,
questions.
like,
I mean,
wow, I
literally,
think.
mine will wander for 4 freaking hours, and we're on a time
I'm
schedule
going to
here.
like.
So give our viewers, our listeners, our viewers and our listeners, because we're YouTube now. Check us
Oh, hey.
out. Give us some flying information, background, middle, past, and then we'll work up to, because what you got going on right now is like over the top cool.
Oh, thank you very much.
Let's back that up before, and give, like you said, man, a history lesson.
Where are you from?
Oh, all right.
What set you playing?
Because everybody
All right.
seems to think the people that do what we do or have doing what we're doing are like from a specific place that makes them special in their own right. But like we're all walks of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
the ones that weren't special.
Oh, get ready for the show. No, for me, it is my history. My whole family's been in the military. So my grandfather on both sides, my mom and dad's parents were in the military, World War II. My grandmother's even in the military. She was a nurse at World War II over in Germany. Yep. My father served. He was an officer. He flew EA-6s. And so we grew up in the military bases. And I actually like living on the bases. I
didn't mean to interrupt, but so they stayed in. You were a brat. Like
Yeah,
you
I
did
was
the
a brat.
travel deal.
Yeah,
Not just they served, got out, and then
Yeah, I was
you.
a brat up until 14 years old, 15. So I was born in California, and then literally 2 weeks later, Monterey, 2 weeks later, my dad gets orders to Japan.
Ooh.
So he goes to Japan, to Spain, to Guam, back to Japan, and then back to California, Bakersfield, California. And I was like 10 years old. So I left it when I was
Guam.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he, it was weird. So, but I don't barely remember any of that stuff. But I just know when I left, I was like 2 weeks old and set foot back in the United States when I was 10. So that's what and I lived on bases. And so from there, finished out that, and then he got orders to Tampa, and then he did a lot of time there. But he kept us in Florida, though. He kept us in Hillsborough County, Florida. And so he actually did 2 years there, but then he went up to Alaska and served, came back, and then went to Pensacola, and he just kept us right there. And of course, led to divorce. And my whole family is from Indiana. So I got my mom lived in northern Indiana. My grandmother lived in central Indiana, and my dad's brother lived in Indiana. So Indiana's kind of like where we went for the summertime. When we got back to the States every summer, like, hey, you're going to go to Indiana for the summer. And so that's kind of like...
So like farm or...
Yeah, farm.
Yeah.
Northern Indiana, like Grange, Indiana. So, and half of it's Amish County. So horse and buggy down the road, and it's corn, soybeans, about 300 head of cattle. So I actually enjoyed the life. I actually really enjoyed going to the farm on the summertime. Loved it. I just thought it was just the coolest thing ever. Here's my little dorky ass with buck teeth and glasses on a John Deere tractor. Going
Like Gary, Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, my little John Deere hat, which my big ears are sticking out, and my little buck teeth, and I'm in this big old loader, driving it down the road and off to the fields. It was really, I enjoyed that life. So, anyway, so my dad gets divorced, and I actually ended up living with my mom in northern Indiana for my sophomore year in high school, and then Dad went back down to Florida, so I moved back down with him. My brother goes off to Purdue University, and then he decides he wants to be a Greek Orthodox priest. Okay,
Greek
Orthodox priest. Okay, talk about some weirdos. Not Greek Orthodox, but like that was my dad. I'm like, what? And you've been divorced twice. You have 2 kids. I don't think you're allowed to do that. I don't think you're going to get ordained, because they're very specific,
There's rules.
I think they have
Specificity.
rules. Specificity. And so we end up going to Boston, and he goes there in Cambridge, and now I'm living in Rosendale. It's in West, but just right in the south, right on the line of South Boston. And so now I'm going to West Roxbury High School, and then he moves again to northern Massachusetts. So then I ended up going to Beverly High School my senior year. So I never went to the same high school for more than a year. So that's what got me.
Always the new guy then.
Yeah, always the new guy. Yeah, always the consummate new guy. But I did fall into running when I was a lad. When I was in the 7th grade, we always had to run like a mile and a half around the whole field, and I always won it for some reason. I always sprinted out as fast as I could, and always won it. And so our PE coach, our PE teacher, who looked a lot, but she was a girl, looked a lot like the Ultimate Warrior. She had,
Jesus, really?
yeah, she had hair out to here, and
So she's really hot.
yeah.
In shape then.
In shape, mean, but she goes, you should, you're really good at that. You should go out for track. And so I went out for track, and it was it was 8th grade. It was an 8th and 9th grade combination school, Buchanan High School in Florida. And then that's where I started track, and that's doing track. Of course, that led to cross country led to road races led to biathlons led to triathlons. And so that's pretty much what I did in high school. So believe it or not, I had like maybe no friends. I think I maybe had one friend and he had no friends. But that's what I did. I channelized all my energy into running. And so my days were very, very disciplined. Pretty much do whatever sport was going on, whatever season was, fall, spring, summer, it didn't matter, winter. I was always running or swimming or training or doing something. And I was always working too. I was working at the Stop and Shop, McDonald's, an ice cream store, which I loved, and that gave me the money to go do my races. I mean, there's races that I did. What's good about Boston is you can take the orange line anywhere in Boston. All you need is a dime. You got a dime, you can go. And went to races everywhere. We went up north. Some races I'd bike to. I'd bike like 30 miles to go to race, or 50 miles to go to do a damn 10K ride, 50 miles to do a damn 10K road race and ride back, and then go to work. So it's kind of like what I did.
You definitely didn't have any friends.
Yeah, I was nerd. I was nerdy looking too. So it's the way it was. But it's and if you really look at that established my work ethic, and so I tell people this quite a bit. I mean, I'll go my senior year of high school. This is what I was doing. I'd go to school, okay, get done about 2:15, 2:30. This is wintertime now. We had indoor track. Okay, our school actually had an indoor track. So I'd have indoor track practice, but also we had a swim team. And the pool was not at the at the school, it was at the YMCA, which was 3.5 miles away. So I would get done with track, and swim team met 3 days a week and on weekends because we shared it with the YMCA, so we didn't get you can practice all day, and you got like an hour and a half. So I'd run to school, which is about 2.5, 3 miles away, run to school, do that, do indoor track, run to swim team, do swim team, and then run home. This is 6 miles now. 6 miles from YMCA to my house. And then I didn't have to take a shower because, hey, I just got done swimming, so chlorine obviously is clean. So put my McDonald's uniform on, put on my coat, go down.
You worked at McDonald's?
McDonald's, yeah. And
That's so awesome.
And the Stop and Shop, and then I'd go across the railroad tracks.
Fries, or are you a grill man?
Oh, I was a grill man, and I worked up. I'm telling you, I climbed that ladder.
What's
yes,
up?
I did. I climbed that ladder.
That's the discipline. Mm-hmm. Favorite meal from McDonald's? The McRib, I heard it's coming back in a couple days.
The McRib was actually really, really good. I love the McRib.
Who did?
Yeah. Shit, yeah, who don't?
It's great, man.
Who don't?
So do you eat the McRib from the side or from the front?
I just scarfed that thing down. I used to create my own sandwiches because all that running that I did, and I'd get there and I'd be on the grill and I'd do fries. I mean, the night shift, I was like everything back there. I did the grill, I did the fries, I did the fish witches, the chicken sandwiches, and sometimes I'd be on the drive-thru at the same time. But that's what I enjoyed doing it. But that was my cycle, man. And that's. But I knew if I had to do all these things, I had to work for it, And so that established who I am as a person. It's like that was my work ethic. That was a lot of miles, a lot of time. And the thing about it is, as I didn't look around for anybody to give me praise. I wasn't looking for praise. I did it on my own. I was like, this is what I wanted to do and make a difference in my life and what I enjoyed doing, and I didn't care who the hell looked. I was like, no, this is who I am. Established my, like I said, work ethic on my life, and that planted the seed. So that was kind of like my
Seems like
growth.
you're more focused on what you were trying to accomplish than what you were making monetarily.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In my head, I was going to be a professional triathlete, period. That's what I wanted to do. Didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
And people out there, body
But,
started changing.
Yeah, I did you got hair in funny spots, you know.
A woman walked into my life.
Yeah.
SEAL teams will do that to you.
Oh, they screwed me up, man. I'm telling you that.
So who got you in the kick for that?
For
the teams?
Now, that's a happy accident, to be honest with you. So my dad was in the military. I remember my dad, when I was doing the Ironman, I remember him saying something about the Navy has super elite guys that do triathlons all the time. And I think he was referring to the first Ironman at Hawaii, I do believe was done by frogmen or man. But that was a long, that was a long, I mean, I was in high school, but so I go to college, not very much fun. With a liberal arts degree, it's like, you know, humanities degree. I transferred to Purdue University, graduate there, and that's when I joined the Navy. It's like, I always knew I was going to join the Navy. I should have did it out of high school, but...
Because we have a running team in the Navy. We have a triathlon team, don't we?
We had a SISM team. Yeah.
That's right, SISM team.
You could probably, in my mind... Well,
I saw them twice in my entire career.
Yeah, they were... If we can circle back, the SISM team was what I thought the Navy SEAL teams were.
Right.
SISM team.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
One of our OICs was he was on the thing for a little while. Shaved up, greased up body.
Oh,
Speedoed.
so when I got into the Navy, this was January of '93. Yeah, I'm just a corpsman. You know, we talked about corpsman yesterday. You know how much fun that was. Being
great
18
time.
delts. Best ever.
Especially back in them days.
So I was a corpsman, so I go in and went to corps school, worked at the Balboa Hospital, and then you get the PRTs that we had to take. Now, I had no upper body strength. I mean, I wish I knew about CrossFit and core strength training back when I was heavy deep doing races and trials. I wish I had zero upper body strength. You should see me do this. The Navy PRT, it was pathetic. I mean, I literally did exactly 52 sit-ups, 42 push-ups, exactly
The minimum.
The 6 pull. It was 6 pull-ups. I remember.
Not the minimum. It's what's the standard.
It is.
That's what you said. That's what you said, dude.
You remember that? And you did poor, you did good, you did excellent. You know how many you got.
I didn't remember. It's just pass or fail.
Yeah, it was barely got the minimum. I mean, it was like I didn't even do more. It's like no, It's not that I didn't want to do any more push-ups. Is that my feeble little weak body couldn't do any more damn push-ups. I mean, I was like shaking like a shaved poodle shit in a peach pit. I'm at 52, you know, trying to get them out. But then we got into the pool, and I did the swim in like 5:15.
Damn. Holy Lord.
And then I did the run in the remember doing the boondockers? You had to do in the dungarees and boondockers.
Dungies and boondockers.
Dude, and I ran that in like 8:40 in boondockers, not like the
Dungies and dockers.
the shit nowadays. They get running shoes and running shorts, and they can actually treat it like it's a damn race. It's like you're clunking, you know, running.
I mean, there had to be an element of the tough. You had to be a little bit tough to get through. That's why they make you do it like that.
Yeah, it was.
Putting them in running shoes and everything. And that mean
Yeah,
you're not gonna have that when we're doing our thing.
yeah. I wish they just. You know what you used to do when you check in the buds? Y'all get issued dungarees. You in PTR?
That's what I checked in dungarees.
Yeah, remember
My first 10-mile conditioning run was in dungarees. I was bleeding so bad because we hit the surf so many times.
Oh God, yeah.
White shirt, dungarees, and freaking boondockers.
Yeah, I didn't get my greens yet. I did the O course in dungarees. I'm like, oh, this hurts. You know, this is awful. Have I moved up to the greens yet? That'd be fantastic.
Those are great.
But my test was, you know, like, hey, you're really fast at swimming. So I'm working at the Balboa Hospital, the emergency room, and you know, you should try out for like the SEAL teams. And I'm like. I giggled a little bit, and I'm like, well, that's cute. What do they do? You know, so this is your career counselor at this time because your orders are going out to the USS Flying Dutchman and everything else, you know.
Yeah.
And we should try out for the SEAL teams. You know, it's like, what do they do? Are you ready for this? They swim all day and scuba dive.
Very well-read
Well,
individual.
Who doesn't want to fucking do that?
After a short walk on the beach.
So, of course, I'm like, wow. swimming in a pool, which I was really good at because when I was at Purdue, I did water polo and swim team and cycling team and rowing. I was very, very athletic. I just didn't look athletic. But I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Sure, here you go. Bam. That's all it took. But I learned from the career counselors is work. Very, very, very first lesson we all learned is work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So instead of like making the calls, doing I don't think they had a computer back then. I mean, maybe one, and you had to get all the orders and actually type them up. All the people, the corpsmen coming in and corpsmen going out and finding duty stations. It's like, well, I'll just send you someplace where you're 90% of you're going to fail out, and then it's their problem to deal with you. Good, stamp, go, have fun. So it was interesting. So I got there, and I'm like, all right. And this is where I was bamboozled because when I first got there, I walked through the quarterdeck, and I didn't know it was second phase because it was like 4 guys running with twin 80s on across the grinder. It was like this way.
They really do scuba dive.
Oh, like, yeah. See, I was bamboozled. Oh, I'm here. Oh, where's the pool? Oh, I'm excited.
They're excited to get to the
Let me go get my Speedos on. Where do I need? Where's my stuff?
Where do I get my tanks?
And then I was informed really quickly that this big hulking of a man comes. I forget his name, but he had like a small little mustache. He was built, he had UDT shorts on, just snug little grape nuts down there, and he just starts yelling at me to hit the surf, just berating me, because I was kind of like, I didn't look like, I had like a weak spoon chest, little big legs, but I had like a little muffin top because I wasn't really, I was one of those guys that can be really fast but didn't look like I was literally anything. So of course I was picked to be the first one to quit, So he's yelling at me to go get the surf. And I have no idea. I've got my little sea bag with me and my little orders. And of course I ask him, well, what does that mean? What? And of course he told me. And then this is the second thing I did wrong. I asked where the locker room was so I can change into my swim gear.
Before you went to hit the surf?
Yeah.
There ought to be a recording. That ought to be a thing. Everybody's first line. Oh, what happens to them when they don't know what to do? Because that's priceless.
So then he showed me where the surf was, and that was my intro. So my dress blues are all just destroyed, but that was my intro to Buds. And then got there, went to PTR, and everybody looked like they belonged there. I mean, it was like they all had muscles, they all had bodies harder.
Isn't that intimidating?
Yeah,
it's so intimidating. I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I was like,
why does everybody look in shape and
different?
Like different?
It's like here I am, like 215 pounds that chewed bubblegum. They all look like Ferraris and shit, and I'm like Herbie the Love Bug,
I fell off the transport. I landed right here.
Here I am. Of course, I was the first one to pick to quit. I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, this guy's gonna quit." He was puny, so that's how I got to Buds, and so it was real interesting. Now I had a hard time. Everyone has a hard time with Buds. I mean, everybody does. But I had I could thank God I could swim and run. Those are my saviors, especially when the tide was out. I'm like, oh, thank God. I'm gonna kick everyone's ass on this fucking run.
That was the worst.
But O-course, grinder PTs, log PTs. Oh man,
Not you, huh?
Brutal. I'd get like 2 sets of 10, and then it was my turn again. I'm like, already? Damn it! And I'd get up there. I'm like. And then we had instructor Hawes there. We had oh my God! And they just tore me up and like and I was in the back in the grinder, just sprinting back and forth. But I got happy hitting the ice boat and doing hitting the surf because I didn't have to be in the damn pull-up bar because I sucked at it.
It's unbelievable how many like having a show like David Goggins who has a pull-up record.
Yeah.
World pull-up record. Remember you got buddies lifting you up. Your hands aren't even on the bar, really. Or they're just kind of laying over. You're just like, I mean, remember that? You do something like, and you're not even doing anything. They're picking you up and then instructors because you think you're getting away with it. You're like, oh, you're like,
oh, they were right next to me, right on me.
Yeah.
But what I liked about hitting the surf is my hands got sticky because of the salt water, and then you got the sand, so it kind of gave me a grip. And I'm like, well. So yeah, I had a hard time with all the physical strength I never got better at it. Even in third phase, we had to do all this shit with our gear on. I still sucked at it, and I was still hitting the damn surf. I'm like, I'll be happy to graduate because I'm tired of hitting this fucking surf. I'm tired.
Little did you know.
I'm tired. I'm tired, Sarge. I'm tired.
I guess if you had to sum up the overall everything that goes down in buds, it's that. Man, I ran to the ocean a lot and jumped in it and ran back.
Yep, I got
That's
yelled
what I
at.
did more than anything.
But a couple guys inspired. Eshelman, remember Eshelman? He was one of the guys that inspired me at Buds. I think we universally hated every instructor staff in second phase. We had Decker, we had Muehlbach, Watkins. You know, we had those guys, but they're busy all up making the rock. So, and they came back for that, which is hilarious. Where Mashie at the time was a chalker. Remember Mashie Chalker?
Dennis?
Yeah. Snake Eyes.
Everyone knows that dude. Yeah.
Yeah, Snake Eyes Chalker.
You hear his name, everybody's like, "Where's what?" Yeah. But we do have guys like that in our community. When you say that name, like, oh yeah, I heard of that dude.
That motherfucker.
Because those are the greatest. It turns out the hammers are the greatest dudes. Usually the ones that beat the mess out of you, and you just never forget them guys.
Oh my
Or
God,
their
yeah.
voices.
Oh, I will, because I failed pool comp, which was weird because he's like, how can you fail? The only thing you're good at is water evolutions. So the whole argument collapses on itself when you fail. The only thing you're good at in this damn school was swimming and water evolutions, and I failed pool comp. But I think I was bamboozled a little bit on that one too, because I started out with Muehlbach and then Decker back to back, done. One even. I didn't
you
get
got
a
in
chance.
that line, huh?
Didn't even get a chance. Not even out the gate,
Dude, when they would like a dude so much when he was entering the water. I mean, their fins are in the water, about to go in the water, and the instructor would be like, "Panic, fail, get back to the wall," and they're like, "I just jumped in." He's like, "Panic, confusion, out of sequence, get the fuck out of the pool," and I'd be literally like that. If they want.
Jumped in the water wrong. Okay.
Panic, confusion,
my
out of
day, I
sequence.
guess.
Yeah. Well, so that was my, and I'm like, God damn it. And so did the review board, and next thing you know, I'm back to PTR with NASCheck again.
Oh, he's
Love that dude, man.
our CNC at 5.
I'm actually really. It's NASCheck is how we all.
He's like my career counselor.
He
That guy we were together. All three of us.
NASCheck was an awesome guy. And he was one of those guys that, him and there's very few instructors that really inspired me. He was one, and Eshelman was the other. And that's what you wanted to be. You wanted to be the people that inspired the young men that were there. You didn't want to be the asshole and yell at everybody. You just wanted to be the guy inspired. So,
There's a good
You got to have those
gelling
guys.
of both
Yeah.
worlds need to be
Yeah.
exist in there.
Yep, 100% agree. And NASCheck still talks to me as soon as, it was getting a comment was good because he bought 5 of Uncommon Grit, and he wrote me back saying, "Dude, you did a good job with this.
It's good to hear that.
Yeah, he's got a kick-ass life too, man.
like,
He's a good dude.
Yeah. You can't get anything by him. He's you can't
I try all
bamboozle
the
him.
He'll give me that look. I'm like, "Hey, Mass Chief, I got to try something."
Yeah, but that's that was Buds, and I we're blowing a lot over what we did there. But what inspired me was the fact that I was the guy that everyone picked not to make it, and I'm still there. In Hell Week, just
Jackhammering the most.
everyone just quitting left and right. At one time, I was the last guy in my room. Fourth week, going right into that whole week, going into Hell Week. Last.
So were you fifth week, Hell Week?
Yeah,
I was too.
Yep.
Run week before.
Yeah.
Run week before Hell Week. I remember that.
Yeah, retarded.
That was unbelievable.
I was the last guy in my room, and it was weird because you're by yourself, and you're like, you're self-loathing, staring into the abyss, but hey, that's all right. But people ask me, what's kind of the things that got me through, and I was like, God, I got to be honest with you, man. I really, really like the Pizza Fridays.
Pizza Fridays.
At the cafeteria?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in cafeteria pizza, the squares. So
Yeah, the
good.
squares.
So
and
good, man.
They had the North Shore.
All right, guys, let's take a second to thank our sponsor over at Keeps. Many of us guys, our identity is wrapped up in our hair. Whether it be that feeling you get after getting a fresh haircut, getting it styled just right before you go out to have a nice date. And that's why when we start getting our 20s and our 30s, we start noticing signs of hair loss, start to freak out a little bit, all right? I've noticed over the last couple months, I've got a small bald spot developing on the back of my head. And I try to like do a little cover up. I try to take the front hair and throw it back and, try to cover that up and hide it. And my barber, she tells me that I'm not going bald, but I don't know if I believe her all the way. But listen, let's face it, no guy is ever ready to go bald. And thankfully now, thanks to our friends over at Keeps, there's a simple and easy way to keep your hair. If you guys didn't know, 2 out of 3 guys experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35. So I'm 31. I'm 4 years away for that statistic. So here we are. The best way to prevent hair loss, though, is to do something about it while you still have hair left. Prevention is key. Keeps treatment typically takes about 4 to 6 months to see results, so it's important to act fast. The sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you'll save. You guys need to check them out. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors, and more than 100,000 men have trusted Keeps for their hair loss prevention medication. Keeps treatment starts at just $10 a month, plus for a limited time, you can actually get your first month free. If you're starting to notice that hair loss, if it's starting to happen to you, remember, prevention is key. Treat it right now. So if you're ready to take action, prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/TNQP. You're going to receive your first month's treatment for free. That's Keeps. That's KEEPS.com/TNQP. Hey guys, make sure to support our sponsors. When you support them, they support us. And that's how we keep dropping these podcasts every week. Make sure to check out the guys over at Keeps.
The first time, like, who the hell puts pineapple and ham on a pizza? That's for my first time. I'm from Indiana, for God's sakes.
I thought that was a mistake too when I saw that. I didn't know that was what that was.
Oh, yeah, I tell you who puts that on there, fucking geniuses, because it was delicious, And you carry your class, you ran them all back with your little styrofoam thing, and then that's what you munched on all weekend. Because I didn't leave my damn bed. I just sat there and I put the pizza there, and because I was on the top rack and my Gatorade bottle, and I'll just roll over, grab some pizza, drink, and then I finished the Gatorade. I just pissed in it and went back. And that's pretty much my weekends. Then there was guys going to Island Pasta on the weekends and things like that. I'm like, are you fucking nuts? I can't even move. Yeah.
So how old were you when you went through?
26.
Okay. 17, 18-year-old kids, they bump out of Hell Week like it's no big deal.
Oh. Yeah. Well, my fat little body.
And then they're the guys that are just hurting.
Yeah. I was like, no, thank you. You can take that and shove it up your ass.
When I came down, I was there when he got secured from Hell Week. And everybody started meandering away, man. I looked down at him. The berms were up. So we could walk down, man. He's just standing there, and he looked up at me. He's like, I'm hurting. That's all he said. I was like, all right, come on. We'll get you to the room.
The damn hand was swollen up. Looked like what's that little hamburger? The hamburger helper guy? Oh, his hand was,
the Michelin guy? The Elephant Man?
The damn hamburger helper glove.
Oh, yeah, the hamburger. It was a hamburger?
Hamburger helper.
That's McDonald's. You worked there, didn't you?
Shit, yeah, the quarter pounder guy. That guy. What's his name? The sheriff.
I mean, everybody was in bad.
Pounder.
Everybody was in bad shape. I think I was just feeling sorry for myself because my brother was there. I was like, you don't know what I've been through.
Oh man, I'm hobbling, chafing, and the hallucinations, pissing in your bed when you got done.
The hydrophobia, the guys that had that, I remember walking out of my room one time because when you have it on lockdown, you sneak out. You don't mean to do it. You just kind of walk outside, and there was a guy, one of my classmates, who was standing over. You could hear the water. The zone was just popping, man. And every time the wave would hit, he. I mean, standing there frozen in the Bud Shuffle position, and then every time that wave would crash, he'd do that. I was like. Hey,
it starts to freak you out after a while, man. I totally empathize with that. It's like you get done with Hell Week, so you start hearing the waves. You're like,
I was the first one in my class that had to get wet after Hell Week.
Oh,
we were in classrooms, and I did.
What did you do?
Right here.
Oh,
whatever. I know exactly what I did. and he was like, the guy was like, "Oh, we're boys now."
Same thing.
I was like, "That's not what I meant." He's like, well, why don't you think about it a little bit in the surf zone?
Oh.
And I mean, I was like, Matt Axelson.
I started crying too.
Grown man crying.
Matt Axelson got arrested, so was my swim buddy, and he was like, I hate you. I'm so sorry, Matt.
Hey. There is that.
Oh God, I'm so
Throwing
sorry.
tears.
Snot bubbles.
Yeah. And it was the hammer, our class hammer, that did it to me, which
Oh,
ended up being
man.
a really good buddy of mine. But he's like, "Oh, we're boys now." I'd never hear him saying, looking at me. I asked him for a chew. I was like, "Hey, Bert, give me a chew." That's how I said it.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you just straight up to him. That's
Oh
good.
yeah. I was like, "Hey, Bert, give me a chew," and he's like, turned around, and looked at me.
His
Because he was
face
putting
shifted.
one in his mouth, right? We were in a classroom at hydro,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, it was the week before hydro.
Oh,
And he
hydros.
looked at me, bro, and just said, God, man, it changed my life.
Oh, I tell you, man.
Eric Burke, I love you, brother.
We partners.
I tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but I thought there was a couple things that were harder than Hell Week. And number one was damn Hydro Week.
Hydro Week's a lot harder than Hell Week.
Yeah. And
How do you know? I did all your hydro charts for you.
Well, that's a great point.
And you didn't do mine.
Did you have the good
But I had to
penmanship?
do them first.
I went out to see him.
Oh.
And while he
This is during Hydro
slept,
Hell Week.
I had the
Oh, my
window
God.
down doing the
We
hydro
didn't sleep
chart.
at all during the Hydro Week. Once that shit started, it
No, that's what
started.
I'm saying. He was
No, no, no,
sleeping,
no.
Oh.
and I was doing his hydro chart. And
My legs were broke.
Oh.
and sitting balls before watch for him.
Oh, jeez.
And guess what he didn't do when it was my turn?
Didn't write down the 9,
I was
9,
deployed.
8, 8, 9, 7,
Sketching
6.
that. People can't appreciate how miserable
Oh,
that is. 'cause
that
they don't know
was
what we're
miserable.
talking
Dude,
about.
I had the window out with the lamp, and I mean, I was doing my level bit, and what I thought, it looked like it was on the lines. You know, my eye was funny back then.
Mm-hmm.
They should have gave me a little slack, but they didn't.
Did it get to the point where you saw? Well, now it's the. It was the third phase classroom. Did you guys get to the point where your all class was just in that classroom like all day writing those fucking charts and redoing the ones from the night before?
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
And I-
We had to do them, and we couldn't do them during the day. When I went through, we had to do
You
them
had to do
at
them
night
after the
after
day.
work.
Yeah, after you got done doing. Yeah, you did all your shit during the day. Your
I mean,
that-
sun coming up, you still got to, and you have to be
Just surf
there
reports.
for-
So do that stupid
Dude.
shit.
And then you got to do lead lines. You actually have to do the hydro.
Yeah. And then you get hydro redundancies because you keep backing them up because your charts weren't done.
Correct. You got to catch. That's right.
By the time Tuesday came around, like Wednesday, we were just like, dude, we're not even, don't even go back to your room. No point.
I mean, that is the worst kick in the nuts you could.
Yeah.
And we weren't doing nothing.
Yeah. We're sitting there writing charts.
Dude.
And that's the secret to Hell Week. I tell people because the secret to Hell Week is think that you can never quit. You're never going to quit. You're going to keep moving forward. You have the tools to move forward because and that's what you needed, because now it's like, oh, I can do anything because I can do anything now. Oh, how about a hydro chart week? Let's see how that is.
Let's test your brain a little bit.
Yeah, and then of course Dregger week. That was
Dregger Hell Week sucks.
whoa, awful.
Dregger Hell Week.
Awful.
I hadn't heard that in a while. And I had blocked that out of my mind until you just
Oh, I'm
said
glad I
that.
brought it back. There
I
you go.
appreciate that. I had and the buddy passes with when the guys are jocked up.
Oh my God, because you had to
With the
have
rock
your-
stars.
Yeah, you had your classes, you had your PT evolution, then you had your pre-dive check, drive out there in the bus, do your dive, come back, post-dive, pre-dive, do a class, try to eat, and then do the shit all over again
It's like
for
going
the
to
night
college,
dive.
but your instructors are trying to kill you.
Yeah, they legitimately were trying to kill us. I 100% believe that. Yeah, and that just went on and on and on. And so that's what Hell Week did. It prepared you. Dude, you're going to do a lot harder shit. This is just to make sure that
And
you're
not even
gonna
enjoying
quit.
the moment when no one's messing with you while you're doing the hydro chart. You're by yourself. But you can't think like that. You're like, all right, it's peace and quiet. I can sit here and draw some lines. It's going to be good. They have gotten in there to where you were punishing yourself even when you're out there by yourself.
Yeah. Instructors come in, these charts are crap. Look at these 8s. You're looking at them going, I literally...
It's all 8s. It's all gridded. It's all 8s.
I literally drew 109 8s because... And how could they not be...
Look at those 8s.
Which one? Look at those 8s.
Oh, nobody's going to laugh at this, but that's so fucking funny.
Except team guys. 'Cause it's like, yeah.
Yeah. The people
Because then
watching...
you're like, oh, you're right. They must be completely jacked
No,
up.
I'm sorry.
My bad.
I'm so
I don't know
sorry.
what I was thinking.
Please, I'm so sorry.
Obviously, somebody else not in this world that they looked that would know exactly what I was trying to say, but I get you. My
The lady
eights-
who asked
my
about
eights-
the
eights-
the apex guy or the alphas, you have to go through the 8s first.
Yeah, 8s.
Once you understand your 8s.
I'm telling you, man.
Pool on the 8s.
Oh, jeez.
So after you stayed out you went straight to the East Coast, right?
Yeah, I did with, Mark and I were talking about yesterday. We did the Fort Benning route for jump school, and then 18 Delta, and then made it out to SEAL
Did you go
Team
long
2.
course or short course?
Short course, but it seemed like it was a really long time.
Long. Yeah, Mark said the same thing. He's like,
Yeah, you got to bend. People, God, the guys nowadays just don't appreciate the path that we had to go to, to get to where we needed to get to actually start getting your bird. I mean, graduating buds was just a ticket to show up to the SEAL teams if you can fucking get there.
Yeah.
So, by the way, you graduate. Congratulations. Here's your certificate of graduation. You graduated, buds. Awesome. That's your ticket to show up at the SEAL team. But you got to go to Fort Benning first, and God rest your soul, you have to go to 18 Delta. And you're like, but that was the key about that is that was the journey. I mean, there was guys that had been there for 12 weeks at Fort Benning because they broke their damn ankles. So you had to graduate that school, and no one was there to help you. No one was there to guide you. Zero. It's like, all right, you're just going to sit there and wait till your shit heals in Fort Benning of all places.
I didn't even think about that, man.
I got rolled out of Benning the second week, Friday, and had to start completely over because I helped a chick on a run. I literally pushed her up a hill.
Heart attack.
And the black hat kicked me out for assisting another student on a run.
They were out to fail all of us. They didn't want a single guy, and we had no mentor, like no one guiding us, like nothing. It's like, shit, we got to graduate this fucking school. No one's here to not protect us or overwatch us, but like
give us some guidance.
Mentorship would be help, But when you had guys that have been there a long time, and even when I got to Fort Bragg, we were like the second class to go through, and there was guys that got rolled from San Antonio that were there, and they've been there for like months. These guys are from class like 202, 203.
So is that why they started putting a SEAL over there?
Yeah.
On assignment?
I'm guessing,
Has to be, right? Because our guys are just hanging out there
Yeah.
and doing nothing.
Just doing nothing. And now you got to graduate another Army school, which, of course, they hated us. And you don't have anything. You have no insurances at all that you're actually going to get to the SEAL team. And that was the crazy thing. Because you had to graduate. You had to graduate Fort Benning. You had to graduate 18 Delta if you were there. Period. And if you didn't, well, you're just going to be there until you do.
That's what they told me. They were like, you don't have to try in the Navy. We got news for you, man. This ain't Navy over here. They must not really like you because they sent you as far away from the team as they could possibly get you.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I thought I was supposed to be here. This ain't right.
Yeah.
Like, come on in. Because it's a selection course for them, which means it had to be for us.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Part of their Q course. I'm like, damn.
See, we're going through another selection. It's like you go over to the Army, you have to go through their Q course. Same thing. You got every day is the same with them, and you got to look like, no, I'm supposed to be a medic. Like they need a medic in the team, so I think I'm supposed to be here. And like, nope, dude. I mean,
You're like, but I graduated buds. You're like, guess what? We don't give.
they
two
care,
fucks.
man.
0 fucks given. Oh, wait a minute. Here's my fuck you. We don't
Dude,
care.
I had my one Brody moment. I walked in the first day and my sideburns were creeped down.
Ooh.
Short though. I kept it real short. You're kind of like a shadow kind of looking thing. And Team 2 guy came up on me, man. Remember his hand had been fragged from a grenade, so he had this whole couple of his fingers didn't work, and he was in my face just like Buds. I mean, he's like, you knew me, piece of shit. No bird, no word. And he's like, sideburns. I mean, and from that moment forward, I mean, it was on. He found out what room I was in, and then, God, dog. Great stories though. I had to duck walk and bear crawl in that facility. Anytime I was in the building, I had to bear crawl, and if we were in the cadaver labs, I had to duck walk.
Oh, jeez.
And he made me do that for 3 weeks.
Wow, now
Not 3 classes, man. I mean, the minute I'd go in there, everybody, and in the beginning, none of those Green Berets knew who I was. So they still now I didn't have any friends, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're by yourself there. I mean, damn.
And I mean, but you take your punishment, and then it's over like that, right? and then you get that respect level. I didn't mess up too, but well, that's not true. I mess up all the time, but
well, there's about 20 of us, but I mean, oh damn.
I was by myself.
That's even worse, But I'm like, I don't know. It's just, and then you finally get to the SEAL teams, and all the guys that you're at buds with that actually got to go straight there after Benning all had their birds.
And a platoon.
Yeah, and
probably. Then you're
calling you meat when you show up. I'm like, motherfucker, we dragged you through the fucking runs, you piece of shit.
Me too, man. That's
you know,
crazy.
and so then you had to wait for your STT class. Remember that? I mean, if you missed it, you're sitting there for like 3-4 months in training. It ain't like the trade it. I mean, each team had its own training. Remember that? That's right. And you had to sit there, and now that was at SEAL Team 2. That was brutal. I
heard one. Yeah,
brutal.
I heard that.
Worst,
especially there. Worst. Yeah,
God awful. It's.
They look forward to it, right?
Yeah.
The guys coming in that missed this class up.
Oh, look at these new meats coming in.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And the first thing is like, okay, your demo driver is going to Fort Chaffee. And we're like, Fort Chaffee? You know, so and then
Rudy's like, get a haircut and check the watch bill, right?
Yeah, check the watch bill. Start and then
legacy for the first SEAL team ever. They still hold that.
Go to Blackwater, and then you're sitting there, you jamming everybody's mags. You know, getting extra tension, if you know what I mean.
Supply.
Oh, I mean, it was. Anyway, not fun. So when SCT started, you're like, oh, well, thank God. You felt like you were out of prison. You're like, oh, I made it. I'm out of the yard now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You were so excited about STT. And then you graduated SCT, which was like, what, 5 months later, 4 months later, something like that.
5, 6 months.
I thought it was 6.
6?
Was
it 6?
Work up deployments.
Some of the teams made you do a deployment after it. You had to do that, and they would pin you on deployment.
Oh, Tiny almost
cool.
got. Yeah, Tiny was one of those ones. But yeah, and then you got picked for your platoon, and I felt bad for the guys that didn't get picked for platoons after STT. We had about 5 that didn't. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that happening.
You got picked. It's like a draft.
Yeah, draft.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
And it should be your first deployment when you get back is when you get your bird. That would be cool.
I agree with that. I 100% agree.
You know what I mean?
You know, we had our Trident Review Board was in November, almost 2 years after since I graduated. 2 years. You know, then here at your Trident Review Board, and it's like, you know, you do all these things, but you got done with Trident Review Board, and you're like, you know, of course you're just like 20 chiefs in there, and all I'm asking you like all of these questions, and it's like you're ready for it. You know, we had to plot something on a chart. You had to say everything about the dragger. You had to break apart the 60. You know, how many rounds this. You know, you guys remember doing this, all fun stuff, and then we got it. Yeah, then you got it pinned down on a monster mash.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Ow.
Some of the questions were brilliant, too. What the chief's talking about? He's like, man, if you caught Chief so-and-so out on the boardwalk, pair of roller blades, pink tutu, wig on, the bong, what would you do? And he sat there for a second and slammed back. He's like, well, if that's how he wants to drink beer, I don't have any problem with that. And just completely switched it around on him, dude. Because he was like, he had a bong out there, right? And they laughed and they were like, get out of here, man.
No,
You're good,
geez.
dude. You're solid.
That was a journey, man. How did we start? Oh, yeah, that was the Buds journey.
What was your hardest phase?
God, I think they all equally sucked. Each one of them had its own manifestation of suck. God,
Because I'm a water guy too, and I thought second phase was the hardest thing.
I'm going to agree with that. I had an equally hard time through all 3 phases, to be honest with you. Each one had its own suck, but yeah, second phase was it was the hardest for me. Like for some reason, third phase was easy. I don't know why.
See, we had a blast because they let you out in the mountains. You know,
Yeah.
you feel like a little bit of a big boy. You get your ass kicked every day and every
Yeah.
night, but I mean, it's still they put a gun in your hand. You know.
I thought Laguna was fun. Did you guys like Laguna, like Land Nap?
So I didn't. I had La Posta.
Oh, okay. Which is still very good.
Wasn't as hard as yours.
No, I don't know. I didn't go to the post. I mean, but Laguna was fun though. I mean, it was you know, you're out there with Dave Gutierrez, so
Yeah.
you had a gut. So it was a good time, but I enjoyed that. You're right. It was like you had freedom. Then you went out to the island and
Well, that's a different story altogether. I don't know.
Yeah, the island. I didn't mind. I didn't mind third phase of all the phases. I thought third phase was the easiest, to be honest with you. out of all the hard, they're all hard. They're all equally sucked and all hard. But as far as the hard factor, third phase was the easier hard than the other two.
It's kind of like you're used to getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's like you've transitioned over, so it's not. It's the same stuff. That never lets up, man. But then they get the technical stuff. When you work in the 60, the funniest thing is when the spring would fire out the door. You know, there's somebody taking off the shotgun, and seeing that under. It's been a long time since I've seen like a third phase student go through that whole. I bet it's pretty impressive to watch, right? Because Casey could blindfold himself, take that 60 apart, and put it back together. I mean, he would roll those pins together with 2 fingers and literally roll that firing pin down and pull it back, and that sucker was locked in. Blindfolded, way under the time, and because that's what we do is just sit in there and do that. And it was some of them guys are amazing what they can do.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of all are when we graduate.
Yeah, we do some weird shit, but. You know what else is
we
funny?
got some weird stuff going on. It's pretty funny.
The one thing that I cannot, we'll always saying back to third phase is Alanis Morissette Jagged Little Pill CD. For some reason, you weren't supposed to, I know you boys looking at me now like, what the fuck did you just say?
I was listening to her the other day.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but we got there. I'm not allowed to bring anything, but someone somehow managed to smuggle in a small case of CDs. And not only if you're going to bring a case of CDs out there, at least have some goddamn CDs out there. So this is what this case of CDs had in it. It had No Doubt, Neil Diamond, and Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
That's all you need.
We listened to Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill album every night while we were cleaning weapons. Every goddamn night. So whenever an Alanis Morissette song comes on, my mind goes all about to cleaning guns out there in the alley every time. It got to the point where we started just singing it.
I have a lot of her music on my playlist. Now I'll think about that every time you say that, because that's true. You know, those songs get locked in.
Yeah,
like that.
they're locked in. I remember we did the ruck swim. Me and Rob did it too. And Rob O'Neill.
So were y'all swim buddies?
Yeah, out in the island, and we were dragging our ruck and. We just had a hard time making it through because we had to do it on that little cove over there and come over, and the waves were just coming and we're like really. I mean, we're getting our asses handed to us, and then we just started singing. Well, isn't this ironic, So
don't you think?
No.
So after we got a long kick-ass career in the SEAL, how the hell do you go from being a gun-toting frogman to a photographer with no experience, self-taught, right?
Self-taught, yep.
Explain, because I mean, he's extremely successful now in this.
Yeah, it was weird. It's the journey to that actually got to where I am as a photographer. Kind of really started at free fall when I was a free fall instructor. So
were you at Yuma?
I was at Yuma. I was a Yuma guy.
God, I was too.
I was a Yuma guy. And not only that, here's what's even sad is I got free fall called in my 4th platoon. So that's how we had guys.
That's the way it used to be.
Yeah,
it was like the good deal school for all the older guys.
Yeah. So I was finally made LPO of the platoon, and I'm like, oh, I guess I get free fall now. Am I in line? Can I actually go? Because I was always at the bottom, like in your platoons. Remember, you had to work your way up. So I finally made LPO, so I went, and then of course all my new guys came in, all had free fall qualled, and all the boat guys had free fall qualled, and I'm like,
and admin people.
Yeah, and I'm like, can I go now? Anyway, so a long story short with that is we get done with that platoon, and then the next platoon, like, okay, you need leadership quals because I'm a chief, and you need leadership quals. You got to go and get it. And all I had was a corpsman shit. I didn't really have anything else. I had like dragger repair. I don't know if you guys had that
school.
one.
Yeah,
that was
STV guys.
Yeah, you guys.
3M and load planner.
Yeah, load planner, demo driver, hazmat. Yeah,
crane operator.
Crane operator. Yeah, we had all the load planner. Yep, that one. And then dive maintenance, dive soup. And all the real classy ones. And then
All the warfighting schools.
Yeah. But they're like, hey, you need leadership quals, and it's like you need to go to free fall JM. So the one that we all dreaded because everyone failed out of that, so we didn't have very many.
That one's static line, right? The 2 hardest.
Yeah.
No one likes the jump
I
master.
did those back to back. It's like I went to static line jump master. Literally a week later, I was out the Yuma doing free fall jump master.
Somebody didn't like you.
No, it was like this rush to get these professional quals in, and then I graduated military free fall jump master school. And then that's what kind of put that's the distinct moment. Then my career went this way. Just the fact that because when you graduate free fall JM, Yuma is a joint school, and there's not a lot of team guys out there as free fall instructors. And so it boiled down to, okay, you graduated. Yeah, we got you slotted for a platoon chief spot, but you need to go be a free fall instructor. So
What year was that?
That was 2006.
You showed up in 6?
Yeah.
I just missed you.
Yep, just showed up.
Just missed you.
Just showed up for advanced military free fall. But so that was kind of like my path, and I didn't mind it. You needed a break, so I was like, all right. And plus, I enjoyed jumping, and naturally, unnaturally, I was naturally good at free fall, which was weird because I literally struggled through everything. I was never like you remember those guys that were just good at everything. They didn't look good in their gear. It's like they got it, and I was
Man, those guys,
I
dude.
freaking hated those guys.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, even your gear looks good on you. I hate you. And we just struggled. I was that guy, but for some reason, when I got in the air, I was a natural at it. It was like, even the instructor's like.
Let's take a second to thank our sponsors over at Hemp Bomb. Guys, check it out. Christmas is just a few days away, and although it brings joy and exciting memories and a lot of fun times, it can also bring a lot of stress, anxiety, painful in-laws, whatever it is. Sometimes you just need something to help you relax, calm down. Hemp Bombs is CBD done right. When you're deciding which CBD product to add to your everyday wellness routine, whether it's for comfort, stress relief, or anything in between, you should never settle. Choose a CBD company that is committed to quality in every aspect, just like you are. Take charge of the new year with Hemp Bombs CBD products. Hemp Bombs is quality without compromise. They use quality ingredients. They are third-party lab tested. They offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Hey guys, and they've got some really cool products. They've got gummies, they've got capsules, they've got oils, whatever it is that you need, whatever kind of fits with your lifestyle, whatever it is that you're trying to address, they've got quality CBD products that are going to help you with those things. Make sure to use our code NEVERQUIT. They're going to give you guys 30% off. All you have to do is go to hempbombs.com. That's HEMP bombs.com. Use our code NEVERQUIT. Get 30% off. Make sure to check them out.
You've skydived before. I'm like, no, I haven't. I went
That's
through
fine.
school.
That's totally opposite of Marcus. He's skydiving.
Dude, not this guy.
I was that
You
guy.
can tell
man.
I didn't belong in the air.
Yeah. It fit me. It fit my weird structure. I don't know. I could fly. And when you went through military, advanced military free fall, you got it was well over 200 jumps in that one 3-month stint. And you had test gates to go through, and I was one of the only ones that did the test gates, passed every one. I was like 2 other guys had did it since the inception of that school, and I was one of them. And one of the hardest tests was a 5-second drill. So you tap the instructor out, he goes, you go 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, then you jump out and get him, and you had to get down and dock on him in 30 seconds. So you basically, after you jump, you got 25 seconds to get down and dock on his arm. And you had 60 jumps to do it. You had to do it 4 times in a row. So you got 60 jumps to pass it. Think about that. How many team guys have little 60 jumps in their entire career? You got it in like this one test. But I did it in the first 4, boom, boom, boom. But what sucked about that, because I passed all it, then I pulled DZSO for the next week because everyone else was passing it and I was just like down there. So it was kind of a double-edged sword. But
always is.
Naturally, I was good at it. It was one thing that I was actually really good at. And then being a free fall instructor you have to be on the floor for a year. Made through that, then did all the USPA stuff. Became basically every qual in the book except for like tandem buckle. And then I really, really enjoyed the ramp opening up in the morning, like 5:15. That first lifts up there. You guys remember that 5:15? Navy SEAL shit. I always thought it was really cool. I like the jump master standing there, the sun like barely cresting over the mountains. It was like yellows, blues.
There is some stuff that we get to do and see that no one else does.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I mean, no one else can see it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you're right. It's one thing. It's what we talked about yesterday. It's like there's shit that we see, that you like. When you're talking about when you guys hanging off the back of a submarine.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me
that
is
kind
like,
of thing. When the sun's coming up when you're underwater and you can see it, it's like coming over a globe that you can't pierce, and then jumping out with the ramp coming down, the sun coming up, sitting out in the mountains sometimes in certain places.
Yeah, you just randomly took a camera up one day. I was like, I'm gonna photo this.
That was my thought, and I thought I want to photograph this. This is really cool. And then that's what started the journey because I didn't know anything about photography except for those little disposable ones that we used to take around with us. Mm. And so I decided I wanted to learn. And I got into the video debt because of the skill that I had, because now I have to video for the students and everything, which I loved because it's easier, because now I got 6 jumps a day and download video and then go home, which was fantastic. So
How many jumps do you have total?
a little over 6,000.
Okay, so I ran across a kid the other day. He said he had 9,000, and he was way younger than us.
I got 2 words for that: bullshit.
That's what I said. But
Unless he was jumping on the weekend and jumping before he came in, probably.
No. I'm not talking about team guy. I'm talking about some
Even
kid
that's
I ran
long.
into at a thing I was doing with Crenshaw.
Oh my God! So you got to think of 1,000 jumps. So if you had 9,000 jumps, I mean,
If that's not your job, that's
Yeah.
a really high mark.
that is huge.
Especially for the age, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
I guess some of them kids can, if they rotate in and out. I mean, he has parachute on in the hotel.
Well,
You know what I mean? I'm like,
it's when people
he's the one that jumps for Crenshaw in this commercial, or
Oh.
with Crenshaw.
I
Films it.
I find that hard to believe, because if you're, unless that's your job, if that's his job, then that
Yeah, because these extreme kids, man, they
it could
jump.
be.
I mean, besides base jump, I mean,
Popping on everything.
If you at 365 days a year, even if you did, it's like if you jumped every day. I mean, I was a free fall instructor, and I got literally more jumps than everybody else because I was a video guy. I mean, most of your instructors will get maybe 4 a day when they have their students, and then they'll break it down, and then they'll do grouping, and then they'll one. And it's like your basic instructor may get, sometimes just two a day, and I was doing 6 to 8 a day.
Yeah.
that's like $2,000 a year.
Yeah, I
Every
was
day
there
for 4 days. I mean, if you're really doing hard jumping,
Yeah, I was there
4
for 3
days.
years.
Yeah,
3
I thought he was
years.
full of shit. I was like, man.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe.
2,000.
You got.
He's young too.
I find that hard. The amount of
Anyway.
time and anyway, hey, we'll
Sorry.
Rabbit hole.
that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rabbit
rabbit
hole.
hole. Squirrel. I find it hard to believe. Anyway, so I decided to start learning. So I go to Barnes and Noble and I find photography section.
I did that in sniper school.
Photography section. So I send my girls out over to the Barnes and Noble in the kids section. I'm sitting there and I'm literally with my SEAL Team 2 dive log in the back, and I'm like writing camera, white balance. I'm literally writing this shit down, because then I went home and then I got on and then started doing Googling the shit, and that's how I learned. So I had all these notebooks. Okay, this is then you start figuring out. It's like once you're learning it, it's like everything went to in the digital darkroom process. I'm like, that was digital darkroom. So now you realize, now you do digital photography, you got to freaking edit the shit. So now and that's Photoshop. That's where the real hard crap comes from, is like the digital editing. That's where it's like a whole different level of, damn, this is going to be retarded. And so so that's how I learned, Googling it, taking notes, bought some easy how-to, understanding digital photography, understanding the digital photography workflow, where your images from eBay, like $2.99, put them in, take notes. I had all these notebooks, then I got another monitor on eBay. I started selling comic books and things like that. And then I had another monitor, so I was like really learning, but I couldn't afford a camera. I mean, it was like, at that point in my life, I was unhappily married with 2 kids. It means I was broke. It was just didn't have any money. So finally I understood it. It took me about 6 months from inception, wanting to take this photo, to actually getting a camera. It was 1 camera, 1 lens, 1 CF card. And got it on the top of the helmet, drilled it in, created everything, brought it in, had to get it cleared through Sergeant Major. Hey, Sarge, this is what I got, because it's the Army. Sergeant Major's looking at it, and he's like, how are you going to video? And, he's trying to break it down. I'm like, well, it's like this. This is how it's going to work. And that's how I started shooting. And got everything home. But the good thing about it is I already knew the digital darkroom. So what makes my photography so unique is I learned backwards. I learned what the end state needed to be, because digital photography is all numbers. Okay, it's not what you see, like these photos, it's numbers. And you got to understand the midtones, you got to understand the darks, you got to understand the lights, you got to understand like the 255, 0 to 255. You have to understand it's all channels and numbers, and you have to understand that. And that's where the resolutions come from, that's where the PPIs come from, that's how you really create photos. And once you understand that, it's like, okay, this is easy. So when I started looking at things, I knew the exposure values of everything. So when I'm looking in the airplane, like this photo right here that's up, is you look in, that's dark, okay? So you need a wide aperture for that. but I don't want a wide aperture for that. I want a closed aperture for that. So, and then once you get out, you got the yellows, and then you're going to turn to the sky, and you're going to go down, and now it's a little bit darker, and now it's browns. And so you're going through like 9 exposure values in one jump. And so numerically I understood that, so that's how I set my settings up in the camera, because I knew the end state. And it's kind of...
You can take... The cameras are so high speed now, even I would grab that thing and know how to work it to what I was just taught through pick, right? So I can turn that something going on and get it. But that's just like grabbing a particular rifle for a particular mission. Mm-hmm. You still have to be able to apply that thing. Yes. Not only that, and not just the rifle, but everything we use. Mm-hmm. So it in itself, it has its own guidelines and parameters, and then whoever's operating it can make it dance and sing in multiple different directions. Okay, I got it.
Absolutely. You're 100% correct. And that's
I would think if you're up in the plane coming out, and then when the ramp drop, you actually have to understand.
That looks like a trust fall.
Right?
Dude, stand on the ground. Trust fall.
Can everybody see that guy's face?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The guy in the back is the one that his expression is going to change immediately.
Yeah, it's
because he's not there yet.
Looks like Andrew's guy.
He can like almost see what's down beneath
like
him.
Grouping. but because not to say, ooh, look how cool I was, but I was such a skilled flyer that I could pull stuff off like this. Nobody else could. I mean, it's like I'm literally, as soon as he goes, I'm literally holding on to his arm, and as soon as we go, I let go, and then I'll just get that shot and start to turn my head a little bit, get the horizon to change a little bit, and go up. But
that is a great, oh shit.
Yeah, I got all sorts of.
Is that his first one?
No, that's actually grouping, so he already made it through like the first 6 jumps. But that's how.
Time,
But yeah, I gave him some other ones in there. You can look. I just wanted you guys to see where I started.
Go back up. One more. That should be a poster.
God,
that was actually.
Look at those goosebumps.
Yeah, and it's raining. And it was raining at the CTT for that one.
That says it all right there.
That looks like space in the background with stars.
Space.
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
it's like its own planet. It's its own world where that happens to the guys. And
what I like about that one is just like, so these guys failed not tying.
I was like, that's the wall of shame, right?
Yeah, they're sitting there because you got one more chance, and these guys had failed it before, so this was like their last chance on not tying. Which I really, what's funny about buds is, as we circle back to that, is we just don't know what people will be easy and what will be hard for guys.
Yeah, I couldn't tread water. So. Before we jump off, what made you decide to do a book?
The book came. I never really thought about doing a book. Originally, when I got into, like I said, that started my path to free fall, and I thought about doing a book, for the free fall school. I thought that would be kind of neat, but that never happened. It just, like we talked about yesterday, you just keep moving forward, and just good ideas that you have, just like poof, they go away. It's like, I'll get that later. Next thing you know, it's 9 years later, and you're like, oh man, I thought I was going to do that,
All right, guys, let's take a second to thank our sponsors over at NordVPN. If you've never heard of a VPN, basically what it does is it provides a secure, encrypted tunnel for online traffic to flow. But what does that mean in simple terms? Get secure and private access to the internet. That's what it's all about. If you're looking for peace of mind when you're using public Wi-Fi to access personal work accounts on the road, or you just want to keep your browsing history to yourself, then you guys need to be using a VPN. It works on Windows, Mac, Linux, all your mobile devices, and that's what you're going to need to get that secure, fast connection. And you guys know buffering is a buzzkill, so enjoy fast and stable connections anywhere. That's what you're going to get whenever you use a VPN service that has no limits on bandwidth. You guys should really check out NordVPN. Choose from over 5,500 NordVPN servers in 59 countries, and you can enjoy the fastest VPN experience. Christmas is just a couple of days away, and so NordVPN has a special Christmas deal for our listeners. Every purchase of a 2-year NordVPN plan will get you 4 additional months free. Go to nordvpn.com/TNQ. Use the coupon code TNQ at checkout. That's NordVPN, NordVPN/TNQ. Be sure to use our code TNQ for 4 free months with the purchase of a 2-year plan. That's nordvpn.com/TNQ and use our code TNQ.
Anyway, I never thought about doing the book. The book came by accident. The book actually... Uncommon Grit came as a request through Instagram, where social media actually works. Going back to it, it was like just the journey to get the photos of buds was another big, really right place, right time, right.
Were they looking for something like this? Because
Yeah.
I would have to think that anybody that would come in and say, I mean, of course you kind of had an access pass because of your background, but I would think like, no, you're not. No, we don't roll like that.
Oh, it was, how I got there was interesting because there's a lot of things happen. It didn't just like go McB. Oh, you're a photographer. Here, take pictures. I mean, it wasn't, like you say, it wasn't that easy. It was like a lot of people in the right place at the right time. That really was like a convergence, like kind of like a sci-fi movie was like a convergence, and it all happened. And the first thing that happened is I had a pacemaker put in. I am at 44 years old at SEAL Team 3 in land warfare, and I had literally four new guys in my platoon that were born when I was going through buds. So think about that for a second.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh boy, but we're going through land warfare. I'm running, and like you got your nods on, and then everything just started to like get darker and darker, and I'm like, and I felt like euphoric, like I was high, and I'm just like, I need to sit down. I just sit down and, hey, Chief, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm tired. It's sort of.
I'm just gonna break.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here.
Sit on this rock here. So you had a heart attack, or?
Yeah, It was getting to that point. My heart was doing what's called a galloping beat. It would like beep, like bum, 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 bum. Then it would stop. Bum, bum. And so, and I was getting basically no blood to my head and passing out. So, got life flighted to Balboa, and I'm in the ICU with everything. Like everything is like got wires, and they keep kicking me to wake me up. It's like, hey, Chief, you awake? I'm like, yeah. It's like your heartbeat was at 26 beats per minute.
It's because I'm in shape.
Yeah, I know. So it's athletic heart. I'm good. And they're like, no, that's bad.
New standard.
Woo, standard of excellence. And so next thing you know, this is kind of fun to pull out the trauma shears to start cut off my pants, and I'm like, whoa.
I just got these.
These are
That's a big deal with us, man. Because the same shit happened to me. I was like, whoa, man. What are you easy on the pants?
Yeah, man. It's like these are the new super duper AOR 3s. We only got.
That's when we always get jacked up, right? When you got the badass pants on, you're like,
oh, don't cut my shit off, please. I just got the way I want it.
These.
I signed for this. Signing for this Spears gear was like signing a mortgage.
You're gonna have to say something.
Yeah. So I mean, they're trying to take it off my pants. I'm like. I got all these wires, and I'm trying to take off my pants, and your med pack is getting in the way. Your knife is still there, and you're trying to get it off, and they put it in the corner, and then I felt better, and then I woke up with pacemaker. So
what happened?
It was called Extreme Athletic Heart, but then it was like sick.
That's how they should call that stuff.
Extreme.
You're so athletic,
that
your body can't handle it.
Your heart got so efficient
that it
didn't need to beat.
Right. It just
to keep you alive.
Like take a break.
Yeah, but it's sick sinus syndrome. Basically, the node that fires was basically dying, and so that's basically what it was.
Is that a genetic thing, or
fired it out?
I don't know. I think it's just all the shit that we did. And it's like my heart finally said, "You know what, McB, go fuck yourself."
My heart quit.
You've done enough for in a lifetime here. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a.
Yeah, we're going to take a breather.
Part of my heart quit. I didn't.
So pacemaker, no transplant.
Oh, just chip pacemaker in. No, didn't have the AFib built into it. It's just regular pacemaker. So, and that kind of put me on convalescent leave. And now I'm looking at medically being retired.
Right.
Because you can't be a team guy or anything with a pacemaker in. So
can't.
No. So now I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna be medically retired. I got like little less, like probably like 14 months left in the military at this point. And so, because I was gonna get done with that. Well, actually, my path was get done with that platoon, pick up senior, probably do 2 more years, retire. But this accelerated that to the point where you're just going to go straight to retirement.
Makes it amazing how that happens, huh?
Weird. And so I'm on
that pacemaker platoon.
Yeah,
the pacemakers.
Yeah, I thought I was like I'd be going to group medical and just going to retire. So I'm on convalescent leave. So I'm sitting near my little robe and drinking beer and watching reruns of My Name Is Earl.
Make sure you follow us on social media, teamneverquit.com social. Subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, leave a review on iTunes. We'll see you guys next week.
This is the Team Never Quit podcast. So buckle up, Buttercup.